Guys, this is Dr. Nida Masroor with another brainstorming session of being entrepreneur. Uh, Already, we have been discussing different macro environments that are required to be analyzed while drafting any kind of commodity for any society. We have already established the fact that for the success or failure, or for the success of any commodity, any product in the market, you need to understand the requirements of any society. You need to understand the compatibility of the product for the society as well. And for that purpose, you have to understand the macro environment, including the natural, demographics, and natural environment, demographic environment, socio-cultural, the technological one. Today, we are going to elaborate the effect of socio-cultural considerations for society, for any kind of society. Sociocultural environment is one of the most important environments that define somehow the lifestyle, psychographic considerations as well, the thinking patterns, and all these things. So, what are the key considerations that are included in the sociocultural environment? For instance, if you are designing a product that is, for example, we can either introduce like kind of jubba for Middle East countries, but obviously, keeping in mind the social-cultural environment that exists in America or Europe side, we won't be able to uh, deliver that kind of product in that particular environment, keeping in mind their socio-cultural environments. We also need to understand that there exists a difference between social and cultural environment. Obviously, the cultural considerations, cultural environment is the one that persists for a longer period of time, for more than one generation, that it persists for more than one generation. Whereas in case of social environment, that used to that might modify that can be modified with different societies that exist within the same culture, and especially the metropolitan cities. We can say that multiple uh, cultures exist, and due to the presence of those multiple cultures, the social environment is different from the cultural environments of different societies that exist there. So, socio-cultural environment entails the choice of food, clothing pattern, clothing styles, your living styles. Some people prefer to have like kurta shalwar. Food, Eastern food is different from the Western one. Halal haram considerations, obviously, and certain foods are restricted in certain religions, certain societies. Clothing also, clothing is also a very important factor that that is included in the socio-cultural environment, keeping in mind that it comprises of the most of the market business. It provides the maximum of business in for any organization, and food choices are there. Socio-cultural environment obviously is also uh, being affected by different environments, including the natural environment, the climatic considerations as well. However, the Eastern food, the culture persists. The living style, for example, in different cultures, you can see that people used to have like floor-based living styles, the tent living in Middle East countries, and like the products that can be considered restricted in certain cultures, including the drugs, the alcohol, as well certain products that might be in certain even games and even gaming services. You need to keep in mind the fact that the things those things should not be included in the softwares, in the user interface, in the appearances that might refrain customers from buying your product. So that was all about the socio-cultural environment, although this is not the depth of it. That includes a lot more things. including the promotional practices, including the distribution practices, what the people prefer to have. For example, in case of considering the socio-cultural environment, those the people living in joint family system, they might have obviously the use of bigger homes, bigger vehicles. They might be having like kind of in malls they used to offer like kind of big tables for family sitting. The vehicles should be big enough to accommodate the big like joint families, whereas in case of the families where culture where people do not live in joint family system and they have small families, in that case they used to provide the cars that accommodate either two or either four people, or the houses should become consist of apartments or studio houses, as well as like uh, it can either be in malls